whatever. But I mean, Robin's gone. Robin's gone. Why Robin? Like, I'm just really sad about that. Just really sad. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Stalk by GiGi 101. Today is Sunday, and that means I am giving you a recap, review, whatever, of the show Once Upon a Time. This is for the 3 episodes that I missed because I was sick and I was on vacation, collectively. So let's just get right into it. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room, okay? Let's talk about the meeting between Zelina and Cora with Regina Incorporated, that storyline. Like, I didn't cry, but like, I definitely got a little teary-eyed. Okay, so let's talk about that. We're also going to talk about the death of Robin Hood, because I don't know who said Robin Hood could die. I didn't say Robin Hood could die. Did you say Robin Hood could die? Because if you could, I'm not friends with you anymore. I don't like your life anymore. Like, why? Just why? Who thinks that this is okay? Let's just start from the beginning. Regina's been working really hard to kind of just get things right with her relationship with her sister Zelina, and she wants Zelina to, have what she has, to have like her happy ending, because Regina's under the impression that, she has her happy ending with Robin. Yeah, we'll get to that. So Zelina has been in love with Hades for eons and eons of years, but she knows that Hades isn't good for her. In a really weird way, Hades and Zelina are kind of like Belle and Rumple, in a really weird way, in the sense that, like, even though Zelina and Hades are both wicked, Zelina truly loves Hades, and she can change her heart and be good, and she wants that. She thinks true love can make that happen for Hades as well. So basically in the episode, she's in love with him, and Regina's like, listen, I forbid you from seeing him. And that, of course, you forbid anybody from doing anything, and that just makes them want to do it even more. So Zelina's like, back up, you forbid me to do what? I'm sorry, who do you think you're talking to? Okay, you can get out, and that could be the end of our relationship. So that kind of was like the end, and she was like, listen, I don't know what to do. She goes back to the crew and says, listen, she's really in love with him, and she's really toying with the idea of jump-starting this man's heart. Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, there's gotta be something you can do. And she's like, the only person who I know that could like make somebody not love someone anymore would be my mother. So now she's like, mother, I'm sorry I didn't see you, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Regina, it's fine. And I think Cora's just really coming to terms with the fact that, she's an Underbrook, and she needs to move on at some point. And she knows that she's not gonna go to heaven. So she's just like, let me just try and make amends with my child before I leave. So she explains the situation to Hades, and Cora called it. Like, a villain knows a villain knows a villain knows a villain. Cora called it. Cora said Zelina has to be in love with him. She has to be a fool to believe that he would actually give up his power for love. He's been down here too long. He's too tainted. Even if his heart starts, it's just going to be more like venomous than ever. So they concoct a plan to go to this river that flows with water that when you drink it makes you forget things. And Cora mentioned that she had used it once before. Now, mind you, there's always flashbacks, and we get to see a itty bitty Regina, which was really cute. And, Cora in that weird medieval looking kind of outfit, but okay. So we see that, and what ended up happening was that Cora had locked Cora always locked her wands, but she left the key inside of the cabin that she locked it in. And Regina was an only child in her mind, and she just wanted to have a sister. So once she realized that was unlocked, she took out the wand, and she tried to make her favorite doll become human, so that way she could be like her sister. But the power was way, way, way too strong for her, and she ended up blasting herself. And they're like, oh my God, Regina, and her father is just devastated, and she's like, fix it. He's like, fix it. And Cora's like, I can't. It's blood magic. And he's like, so fix it. She's like, it can't be fixed by the person who caused it. Meaning that since it was Cora's wand, Cora can't make her better. And he's like, well, she doesn't have any other relatives, does she? And she was like, I'll fix it. And this was the really messed up part. She goes and sees that Zelina is living with this adopted set of parents, and the father just really hates her powers and whatever, and she coerces her to like come and help Regina by saying, you know, she manipulates the situation, like, let's show your dad that your magic is used for good. You can help me with someone that I love the most. And she agrees to go, Zelina, and Zelina's a young girl. She had to be around 12 at the time. And she goes off and she does what Cora asked her to do. And Cora allowed her to stay, I guess, for a little bit before she brought her back. And they really bonded, and they were in the same room. And the box that Cora kept her wand in was still in the same drawer, but she didn't have the wand in there. And Zelina just like ran her hand over it, saying how pretty it was, and it opened. So now they're like, so Zelina doesn't know what that means, but Regina says, she's like, that's blood magic. Maybe we're related. And they're like, no way. Like, they were really getting along. They were acting like sisters. And the ironic part was that they were playing that they were fighting, and Regina had a fireball. And this was way before Regina had magic and became the evil queen. So, you know, all that happens, and then they run up to Cora, and Cora's like, they're like, mother, are we related? Like, she opened it with blood magic, blah, 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 blah. And Cora's like, yes, you're sisters. So now they both get really, really excited. Regina's like, oh, well, can she stay with us? Shouldn't we be a family? And Cora gets straight up cold. But we also have to remember that Cora took her heart out. So Cora really didn't have a heart when she was like dealing with Regina growing up or whatever. And she goes, have I not taught you anything? You can't rely on anybody but yourself. And she has her guards take Zelina away. And Zelina and Regina are trying to hold on to each other. And Regina says, don't worry, Zelina, I will always find you. Like, kind of like what Charming and Snow do to each other. Oh my God, I was in my feelings, right? So all this is happening. That's the flashback. We go back to present day Underbrook. Cora comes to Zelina, and Zelina's like, holy macchiato. Like, I was not expecting to meet you. I've always wanted to meet you, but I wasn't expecting to meet you. And they meet, and, you know, she gives her like this half like concocted, oh, I'm so sorry, and you're my unfinished business, and blah, 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 blah. And while that's going on, because she's supposed to be the decoy, Regina was supposed to slip this water vial of forgetness into her water. And Zelina's not stupid. Zelina's a very, very smart person. So I don't know why people keep trying to play her like she's stupid. And they were all like, she was like, you really think that I was going to fall for that? And she was like, Regina, you can come out now. And they were like, we're just trying to explain to you that he's not good for you. And Cora was like, even though you think that it's a story, I really did mean it. Like, I really am sorry for what I did. And I really do love you. And then, of course, Regina and Zelina start going at it. And ironically enough, the same game they played as kids with the fireballs and stuff, you know, that starts to come to fruition. And Cora's like, enough. If anyone should hate anyone, you guys should hate me. And they're like, what are you talking about? She was like, you two loved each other once upon a time. And they're like, what? And then they hold hands, and then they see like what happened in life. And then they start crying. And then that kind of forges them to have a good sisterly bond up. And okay, so that happens, and then it's time for Cora's Judgment Day. She walks over the bridge. Originally, the eternal damnation of fire grabs her, but I guess like her redemption, her one good deed that gets her into heaven, was that she reunited her daughters and she apologized. So she actually did get to go off into heaven. Zelina feels horrible because she's like, I never even got to know her, da-da-da-da-da. And Regina's like, it's okay, like we have each other, and we can get through this together. And she tells Zelina, I trust you, go find your one true love. And Zelina truly did love Hades, and she truly didn't have any malice. So she goes to meet Hades, and boom, she gets kidnapped by the Stiltskins, aka Rumpelstiltskin and Peter Pan. Like, who saw that coming? I didn't see that coming. Like, what? Like, what? Okay. So, scene ends with a note, and Hades ends up going. The show ends, that episode ends with Hades ends up going to the heroes and asking them for their help, and in exchange for leaving, he can open the portal and they can leave. Because she kissed him and jump-started his heart. So he could open up the portal and they could all go. He tells them that they could leave, but he actually plotted, and he was trying to keep them there so that way he could take over Storybrooke. And he was like lying to Zelina. Regina got Robin to give his baby girl to Zelina because she trusted her. And Hades just completely played them. He told Hook and Emma that there was this tree that they could eat from that would allow Hook to come back, because when she tried to put half her heart into him, it didn't work, and it was because he was dead for way too long and his body was rotting already. And it was all just a ploy, because they go down to this underworld, deeper than where the underworld is, to try and find, you know, this fruit or whatever to eat, and did find it after going through a test to see if it was really true love, and it was cut down. So now they realize that's all a scheme. While that's happening down there, up in the library, because you know that weird elevators in the freaking library, up in the library, the rest of them are like, okay, we need to like help people. So Henry's writing everybody's unfinished business so that way they can cross over and just be done with Underworld. And Cruella and that blind witch come over, and now they use magic, which is Hades powered magic, to lock them in the tower. They get to the fruit. Emma's trying so desperately hard to like find a way to save them, and Hook is just like, listen, there's no way to save me. You have to go on without me, and you have to promise that you'll really go on. And Emma was like, fine, I'll leave, but you have to promise me that you'll move on and that you won't stay here. So they make that pact. She gets upstairs, she gives like a half explanation, and everybody's just kind of like, okay, it's a really sore topic, we're not going to talk about that right now. And they explained to her that they can't get out because of the witch and Cruella. And Hades manages to like get Zelena and the baby over the bridge, because she's like, well, what about my sister? Because she really, now that she has these memories of Regina and realizes that Regina really did nothing wrong, it was all Cora, she really wants to make amends, and she really wants to have that sisterly relationship that she never got to have with her. And he's like, don't worry, like he played her like a fool, like how Rumple be playing Belle, he played her. So like all good episodes, it ended where they were able to get through the machine. Now the next episode, which is actually the episode from last week, is where they're in Storybrooke, and Hook can't go over because he knows that Emma is still in danger, because the Olympus Stone is the only thing that can kill a god, and guess who has it? Yeah, homeboy. So he's trying to put it together. He kills King Arthur, and he said that he needed him for a reason, but we don't know what the reason is. But he killed King Arthur, and King Arthur goes to the underworld, and him and Hook join forces to actually help get him to cross over. And basically he puts the thing together, and they keep trying to tell Zelena, listen, he's up to no good, like he's been lying to you this whole entire time. And Zelena's like, no, he's changed, true love, blah blah blah. She's truly blinded. So they have the baby, and Hook and Regina, the juiciest part is that Hook and Regina are trying to obviously save their child, right? So they sneak into Regina's office, because Zelena put a protection spell on the office so that way they could stay there or whatever. They go in through an underground tunnel that was created, or whatever the case may be. And oh my goodness, Zelena, okay, Hook ends up finding the chapters that were missing of how, like, what his life was, of Hades' life was, and how to defeat Hades or whatever the case may be. And he puts it inside of the book for Emma to find. Emma finds it, and she goes to the house to try and open it up to the office, because now she knows how to defeat him or whatever. And so she does that, and I don't even know, like, Zelena goes to find her. He goes to do something. Robin and Regina go to get the baby. He goes to kill Regina with the Olympus Stone, and Robin Hood jumps in front of her, and he just dissolves. Like, that's it. He's dead. He's dead. He doesn't go to Underbrook. He's just gone. He doesn't exist. He's gone. Regina is irate. Can you imagine, like, this is the second time she has seen her true love, like, be killed in front of her. Like, what is wrong with these writers? What do you have against Regina? Like, you really, 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 really like to jab the knife into her and turn it. So Zelena comes back, and she's like, what happened? And he's all like, oh, I had to kill Robin. He was gonna, like, kill you. And Regina was like, no, he wasn't. He was protecting me because he was gonna kill me because he wants to take over. And so now Zelena grabs Zelena distracts him by talking to him, and Regina just lunges at him. He drops the Olympus Stone, And Zelina picks it up. And now they're both talking to her, trying to convince her to kill the other. And Zelina listens to both sides, and she's like, all I ever wanted was for you to truly love me. But now I'll see that I'll never be more important to you than power and magic. And then she kills him with the Olympus stone. And she and Regina kind of like embrace. And because they both lost their true loves. And now they're both hurting Regina for the second time. Just saying. And, you know, there's a funeral and everything else. And Hook is allowed to move on. He's met by Zeus. Zeus says, I'm here to walk you to where you belong. And he walks off into the light, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, we lost Robin. We lost Hades. We lost Camelot King Arthur. We lost freaking Robin, which I'm heartbroken about because y'all know how I feel about Robin, okay? Like, oh my gosh, why? Just why? And they're at the funeral. Emma finally breaks down, and she's just hysterically crying to Hook and explaining how she feels, whatever. And then you see Regina and everybody else over at Robin Hood's, and they had like the little arrows with little roses attached to it, and they lined them up on his coffin, and it was just so heartbreaking. I teared up quite a bit in that episode. Didn't actually cry, but I teared up because my heart really goes out for Regina. You know, like she never gets her happy ending, no matter what. No matter what. Both times she did not deserve for that to happen. The first time made her be the evil queen, and this time, we don't know what's going to happen. So the episode ends with, you know, everybody walks off from the gravesite, and Emma's standing there just talking to the coffin, or just kind of like thinking about, you know, Killian, and he appears behind her, and she's like, what? How? And he's like, I guess Zeus let me come back after I did a good deed by helping you kill Hades or whatever. So Hook didn't actually die. Hook's still here. For this 2-hour premiere tonight is Regina gonna become evil again? Because that's what set her off the first time, was seeing her mother rip out the heart and kill her love. And, you know, the 2 hours is just going to be like, well, what's going to happen from here? Is Regina going to fight the dark force? Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Zelina? Like, are they going to join forces and be like the Wicked Witch and the Evil Queen together? Sisters just wreaking havoc? There's so many questions that we're left with for tonight, and I know I can't wait. So I want to say thank you guys so much for sitting through this, if you did, to the very end. That was an emotional 3 hours of my life to have to watch. I will say I wouldn't recommend watching those 3 episodes back to back, because that was like a lot of emotions going on. Amen. But yeah, so if you want to see more review, recap, whatevers, and go on our GiGi Meister Merpod adventures, all you have to do is rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. And I'll be seeing you in one of my next reviews. Actually, I'll be seeing you tonight with a review of the 2-hour episode. Loves and likes ya. Bye.